team benefited more?
So for me, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's kind of a loaded question for me because on one end, I'm looking at the Buffalo Bills. They sitting at 4-2. The Jets obviously just lost to them last night, and so they have the upper hand. The Jets are 2-4. They have the upper hand in the division, and they can put a stronghold in the division with this trade potentially if it works out the way they envision it working out. Amari Cooper, as we know, is no scrub. Very solid receiver in this league, and I feel like they did miss that outside threat. I feel like they did miss Stephon Diggs. And I feel like this trade kind of let us know in their own way, yeah, we kind of miss Diggs a little bit because they don't make this trade if they still have Diggs, in my opinion. So I do think that this trade helps them. But we have not seen this pairing together of Josh Allen and Amari Cooper. And as great as Amari Cooper is, he ain't no Tay Adams. He is not no Tay Adams. Now, as you know, as everybody, as fans of Unfazed know, I have been high on the Jets. I had them winning like 13 games. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen at this point. They've already lost 4 games. All right. So I'll take the L there. Yeah, I got no problem taking the L where it's due. They have not lived up to my expectations. But now adding Devontae Adams to this offense, one thing I'm confident in is the connection between Tay Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Yes, it's been a while, but we know the production is going to be there. Last 4 years with them together, we got a year of 111 catches, over 1,300 yards. Another year, 115 catches, 1,300 yards. Another year, 124 catches, 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, 18 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. You know, what's this? 10 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns. Like, Tay Adams and Aaron Rodgers is a dynamic duo in the NFL, and I still think they can be dynamic. I still have questions about the Jets' offensive line. I still have questions about the Jets in general. They just find ways to lose, it feels like. I know officiating was an issue last night. It was what it was. I'm not giving the Jets no pass for that loss. They had an opportunity to win that game, and they folded. And honestly, Aaron Rodgers can talk as much as he wants about Mike Williams and that throw at the end of the game, and he was in the wrong spot. Bro, you had 2 other players open on the play where you could have gotten field goal range potentially, or at least got the first down and gotten field goal range and put yourself in a position to take this game into overtime. So while Mike Williams might not have been in the spot he was supposed to be in, you also did not make the smart throw, and you also have to take accountability for that. But he did start off by saying he didn't play well. He needs to play better. And so all in all, I say I like the trade for both teams. I feel like the Bills filled a void that I feel like they needed to fill. But I feel like the Jets loaded up in a spot that I feel like only helps their quarterback. And I feel like the reunion of Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers is stronger than the union of Amari Cooper and Josh Allen because we've seen it before. We've seen this production. We know what it looks like. And now you have Alan Lazard still. You still have Garrett Wilson. That connection is growing like crazy. And it is, shout out to Teddy for the fantasy pickup. I just want to say the boy is balling for my fantasy team. I just want to say, but I like the connection that they have built, that they have now. And they got a potent offense. They just got to put it together. The question is, can they put it together quick enough to steal the division? That is going to be questionable. But at the moment, if we just talk about the trade and not the positioning of the division, I like the move for the Jets more than I like the move for the Buffalo Bills.
All right. I'm going to go with the Bills. All right. Although I think Devontae Adams is a better player than Amari Cooper, I feel like Devontae Adams might be more productive than Amari Cooper. But what the Bills needed, they needed that more than them needing Devontae, in my opinion. So what the New York Jets really need is offensive line. That's what they need. Now, Devontae Adams is going to really help. I like to trade for both sides, like you said. But I want to address something you said about the Diggs comment, all right? They missed Stephon Diggs. We got to remember, Stephon Diggs ain't the only one that left. It's Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis.
Fair.
People forget Stephon Diggs started off great. But then as the season gets cold, he fades away. I got some numbers for you, AJ. I actually went through this before. This is my notes. So when you made a comment, I said, let me see if I still got these numbers. I still got it. Let's go. Copy, paste, put it in my notes pad. All right. So look, in the last 3 years, Stephon Diggs, in the first 9 games, Stephon Diggs averages 7.8 receptions, 95.1 yards per game in the first 9 games. Then it starts getting cold. After the first 9 games, he averages 5.2 receptions a game, 55.1 yards per game. In the playoffs, 4.5 receptions a game, 48 yards a game. So Stephon Diggs, although he might have received the attention, you know what I mean, because he's Stephon Diggs, but his production wasn't showing what his contract was. So it's not. Gabe Davis used to eat in the playoffs. Gabe Davis used to eat in the second half of the season. So
And you kind of stated why though. You kind of
yeah,
stated why in a
right.
way.
You're
But
right, Stephon Diggs, but Stephon Diggs is supposed to be that guy. You know what I mean? You got to be able to be productive, especially late in the year. I remember Coach Coombs always say Stephon Diggs, when it gets cold, he disappears. I'm like, yeah, right, Coach. And I looked at the numbers, I'm like, dang, Coach actually right about this one. So shout out to you, Coach Coombs. But Amari Cooper is a big upgrade. I feel like, I'm not going to say big. I think Devontae Adams is a bigger player. Like I said, he might have better numbers, but we keep forgetting how Amari Cooper is. Amari Cooper did not want to be there. Let's start there. Reports came out and said that he was done with Deshaun Watson before the season started. He's been trying to get out of Cleveland since before the season started. They wanted Joe Flacco over Deshaun Watson. Let me tell you this, AJ. In 11 games with Deshaun Watson last year, Amari Cooper, 69 yards per game, 4 receptions a game, 2 TDs in 11 games. 4 games with Joe Flacco. 4. 121 yards a game, 10 receptions a game, and 3 touchdowns. You don't think he was happy? Change the scenery, switch up, new life. Amari Cooper's happy. He plays better. Remember before he went to Dallas and after Dallas? He was with Oakland for 6 games that year. And those 6 games, 5 receptions a game, 46 yards a game, only 1 TD. He goes to Dallas for 9 games, 8 receptions a game, 90 yards a game, 6 TDs. Amari Cooper seems like when he's motivated, he's going to perform. When he's not motivated, he's just not going to perform. I feel like change the scenery from going from a 1-5 team Cleveland, who was dead in the dumps in the AFC North, going to the 4-2 Buffalo Bills, number 1 AFC, going from Deshaun Watson to Josh Allen. It's like a hallelujah. Right? Thank you, Jesus. Right? So he's excited about that. But once again, like you said, I think the Devontae Adams, I like to trade for both teams. I think both teams would get better. I love the Devontae Adams move. I'm glad they did that because Aaron Rodgers is happy with Devontae Adams. You going all in. Do it. You going all in. And all you gave up was a third round conditional pick, whatever. Which that third round pick could be something amazing, but you're going all in. You put all your eggs in the basket of Aaron Rodgers. Now I'll give you another number. Aaron Rodgers got rapport with who on that team? Allen Lazard, not Garrett Wilson. When he's throwing the ball to Allen Lazard, AJ, his QB rating, his passing rating is 120.3. When he's passing to everybody else, 77.3. Come on now. I mean, that means something. I get it. Garrett Wilson is getting the attention. He's getting double team. Allen Lazard is not. I understand all that. But Devontae Adams coming in there, now Garrett Wilson is single covered now. Devontae Adams will get the coverage. Or sometimes Devontae will be single covered and Garrett Wilson will be getting the double. Somebody's going to be open, but we know his guy is Devontae, and they gonna cook because we've seen it before. And it wasn't like it was 5, 6, 7 years ago. This is just 3 years ago. So
you kind of making my case for me, Joe. Like what?
No, I like it for both sides. I really do.
Okay,
and I think Devontae will be productive, but the main issue for them though is not like getting a receiver ain't so like the Bills' biggest problem was what? Receiver. Boom. I feel in that void. It's like the Cowboys. We look at the Cowboys. If y'all were to add another receiver like Devontae Adams and the Cowboys were to get a really good running back, they might benefit more because they actually needed a running back. Y'all got 2 receivers already. You know what I mean?
That's
so
fair.
So that's how I'm looking at it. But I think it's a win-win. I think it's a win for both teams. I don't think one team is so much higher than the other. I think both teams will benefit from this. I'm just picking the Bills because the need for that receiver was much bigger than what the Jets needed.
I completely agree on the standpoint that they need offensive line help. That is, I mean, they've needed offensive line help since before the season started. But I think adding a guy like Devontae, right? But I think adding a guy like Devontae Adams helps in a good way speed up that clock for Aaron Rodgers. He could put the
Mm-hmm.
ball wherever it needs to be put, and you can get it out a lot quicker than it's been getting out. Now, he has been getting better with getting the ball out a little bit quicker as of late, in my opinion, at times. But sometimes you can tell he's just not comfortable. You already said it. He's just not comfortable outside of Allen Lazard. And I do think the chemistry is getting there, with Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, he don't really have the confidence to quickly let the ball go and expect for them to catch the ball and make a play. With Devontae, hike, here you go. Hike, here you go. And then, like you said, when they shift that coverage over there, now we got single coverage on the opposite side. We got guys open in the slot, guys open, tight end open. I might have a dump down in the flat to the running back, Breece Hall, who played pretty well last night. I think at this point, it adds a new dynamic to the offense that kind of masks the offensive line a touch, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can't even really like load up on the run game like how you will before. Because like you said, the chemistry is only there with one receiver legit. So and guys, to be real, you respect Allen Lazard, but you don't really respect Allen Lazard. You know what I mean? Like, that's a guy that you want to make sure you keep an eye on. Yeah, no disrespect. No disrespect. Like, obviously, respect is a big word, but I'm just saying, as a defender, I'm sure as a defense, yeah, he's there, but you don't look at him the same way you look at a Devontae Adams. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, loading the box to stop the run is something that you can't do nearly as much now because you got Devontae Adams on one end, and then you got Garrett Wilson on another end. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I just feel like, in a way, like I said before, I think it masks to an extent the offensive line issues when you have those options to throw the ball to. And I think it opens up the run game. I just think it adds a completely new dynamic to this offense. Whereas the Bills, like, you could talk about how Diggs, his game fell off in the colder months. But at the same time, I kind of already seen the Bills with good receivers. You kind of see what the Bills can do with good receivers. Now, to your point, they win the division. They win the division, right? But when it matters most, they don't really make, in my opinion, a ton of noise at the same time. Whether it be running into Patrick Mahomes one year or running into, I don't know, the Dolphins one year, whoever, Joe Burrow one year. No, you know what I mean? But I feel like I've already seen that. With this, in this situation, you're in a new system. It's a brand new team. And now you add Devontae Adams to this. I just think that it's gonna open up the floodgates for this offense even more. And I think it will help, again, not to repeat the same thing, but it'll help the offensive line. I think it'll help the offensive line. Prime example, not to bring Philly up, we're gonna talk about them shortly, but that offensive line at times look horrible without AJ Brown out there. You bring AJ Brown out, that ball coming out a lot quicker. Here you go. Right. Here you go. Like now the offensive line, we only got to block for like two seconds max. Hey, he letting it go. AJ, go get it. I feel the same way because that trust is there with Devontae. So
I agree with you.
Yeah. So in a way, it you know what I'm saying? It helps. It helps.
I agree with you because when the Jets are playing that quick game, it's working. And then just yesterday, he threw a quick pass to Mike Williams and he wasn't ready for it. He dropped it. So like little stuff like that is frustrating for Aaron Rodgers. And when they get the ball out quick, they are a lot more efficient. When he has to hold the ball, that's when they get in trouble. So that's a great point.
Yeah.